My name is Mrs. English. I'm your son or daughter's biology teacher this year. It is so nice to meet you guys. But just real quick, I'm going to go over this slideshow just to go over some basics of the class with you guys. So helpful links. So I have included a link to the slideshow. On this slide, I have a course syllabus, a copy of the hybrid calendar, the new very fun AM/PM schedule, bell schedule, library orientation information, like a Schoology 101, and Aries how to check grades. Okay, so go ahead and this is a great resource for you guys. Just click on the slide and go down. I think this is the second slide. So classroom safety. So the classes definitely look very different this year. We do our best to socially distance, have the students between 4 and 6 days apart. We do require that students wear masks over the mouth and nose. So I'm constantly reminding students to cover up their nose because they slip down all the time, poor kids. The classroom doors are open throughout the day to let air circulate through. It's not really as cold anymore, so luckily we don't have to worry about that. Students have assigned seats, which we use for contact tracing, and whenever they work in small groups, which we do, I do record who they're working with. The students have assigned, I already did that one. There's no sharing of any equipment or supplies. So there is nothing that they're going to touch that they're then going to pass to another student. There's no papers. Everything is virtual. Our labs are virtual, or they're demos, so they get to see me do it. And all assignments are digital. So science definitely looks very, very different this year from previous years, because normally our class is very hands-on. Unfortunately, we just can't do that right now. So what to bring to class? So definitely bring their laptop and charger, especially towards third period, fourth period. Some devices don't have the best charge and they need to be charged. I have plugins all over my class. One of the benefits of being a science class. So I always allow students to plug in their devices if they need to. An extra mask, just in case. I've had students goof around and their friend ripped it off at lunch and now they need another one. So having an extra one is just always nice. Hand sanitizer is great. I do have 2 of these big bottles throughout the class that I replace when I need to, as well as 2 hand washing stations that are accessible to your children. Just trying to be safe. So what happens when your child is on isolation? So luckily, your students are the ones that get the more perfected semester, I guess I would say. So last semester, I tried out some stuff. Some things worked, some things didn't. And your students get the benefit of that. So I worked really hard to make sure students can access everything when they're on isolation. So there are a couple of assignments where it's more difficult, and I will always include more info, and I am always able to be reached during the school day. So if your child is on isolation, they will be required to check Schoology every day for daily agenda and assignments. Their assignments have the same due date. Now, if for some reason they can't do it, like they are actually sick, I completely understand that. I just need an email like, hey, my child, or have them emailing me, hey, I'm sick. I want a couple days to recover. No big deal. Email me when you're ready and I will help you catch up. Okay. But if your student is in isolation and they just have nothing to do, then they are expected to still do their work. Okay. On test days, they can join class via Google Meet. I will post the code on the agenda for them to access to do the test review, and they'll take the test the same time as the rest of the class. So for normal assignments, as long as they're turned in by 11:59, they're good. But for tests, they need to do it during their testing period. Okay. Email teacher to request an after-school Google Meet session if help is needed. So if you're a PM group, you're lucky. You can just come in after school. If you're an AM group, most students don't like to come in early for help, but I do offer help on Google Meet. So I can share my screen. I can look at assignments with you guys. We can have parent meetings. We can do all of that on Google Meet. And it's pretty good because I just can't tell you how many times when you email me a question, I have a follow-up question to help me understand how to help you. And just meeting on Google Meet, even if it's for 5 minutes, will save like 45 minutes of emailing back and forth, trying to figure out exactly how I can help you. So the class website has absolutely everything that your child needs in my class. This isn't exactly what my agenda looks like, but I have a daily agenda. Everything is organized underneath it in folders. And I strive for consistency. So they should know where to find everything. They should know, oh, I have to work on the doodle sheet today. Oh, I know she always has the links up here for me. Okay, so I have set up these policies and I will use them continuously throughout the semester. So that way, when they are in isolation, they have no problem still doing their work. So just a little bit about the class. So biology is a graduation requirement. So what that means is if they don't pass biology, they don't get their diploma. It does follow NGSS and Common Core standards. So NGSS are the new next generation science standards. We've incorporated both to make sure both set of standards are being met. And this is the course sequence. It is a little bit of a mess, I'm not going to lie. But the basis of it is we're going to start learning about the unity and diversity of life, and then how life is different, and the big things about life, and then go back to these small things about life. I know it's a lot, and this chart is kind of hard to read, but we're going to hit these amazing topics, and your students are hopefully going to learn a lot. And to be honest, I just want them to have fun while learning something new. So how is biology taught? So we tend to use this pyramid model. Okay, so the M stands for model, P stands for not phenomenon, and Q stands for questions. So we will start at one corner of this triangle and then work for the other ones. Okay, so sometimes we'll be presented with a model. So models apply to explain a new phenomenon, and then they will make observations and collect data, and they'll ask questions, okay? Or we'll start here. They'll ask questions and develop a model. Like, we're going to be bouncing all over this triangle, okay? Grades in this class. So unit tests are worth 40%, okay? They are open note, and there are no retakes allowed, okay? The tests are easier this year, and just because we only have 40 minutes in class. So we used to have like 30 questions on tests. We simply can't do it now. So the tests are shorter and they're open notes. Okay. I've had students who seem to think because it's open notes, they don't need to prepare. And that's simply not the case. They still need to prepare. They need to go through their notes. They need to go through the difficult topics that they don't understand. And honestly, organizing their notes and just knowing how to find stuff in their notes is very, very important. Just because it's open note doesn't mean that there's no prep time required. Okay. I do not allow retakes, and this is standard. Like in a normal year, the test would be harder, longer, and they would not be open notes. This year, the tests are shorter, they're open notes, but in both instances, sorry guys, but in both instances, no retakes have ever been allowed on tests. The essential skills, though, we do allow retakes. So essential skills are assignments that have to be passed with a minimum of 70% or more. Okay, if they're not passed, you have to pass all your essential skills to pass the class. You can technically be passing the class on percentages, but if you have an essential skill that you're not passing, you won't pass the class. Okay, granted, this has never happened because I have always dragged students across the finish line, especially with ESAs. I do my best to help students stay on top of that and encourage them to fix whatever needs to be fixed. Assignments are 20%. That's your day-to-day homework, your day-to-day classwork. And finally, your final exam is 10%. Okay, so we have a midterm and a final. So each of those are worth 5%, totaling 10%. So I already went over this, but all students must pass all essential skills with a 70% or better. Okay, so Below a 70% equals a no mark. Students must retake essential skills and pass with 70% or higher to clear. The maximum retake credit is at 70%. Okay, so normally I will help them work smart and get to the 70% that they need to get because they can't earn higher than that. So tips for biology success. So ask for help early and often. So I do my best in the classroom just to scan and say, okay, who looks like they need help? Who looks like they have questions and they're too shy to ask? I do my best with that, but sometimes I miss students. So if they need help, I do look for it, but occasionally I miss a student who's struggling on an assignment. Ask for help. I love helping my students. There's nothing better than getting a little bit of one-on-one communication with a student because I get to know them a little better and I get to know how to help them, which is always good. Completing assignments regularly. So assignments are due the day that they're assigned with a couple of exceptions. So staying on top of your work. I will say if you have something going on and there's just no way you can finish an assignment, if I get an email before the deadline and say, hey, I'm having a really hard time, can I please turn it in the next day? I get that. I really do. And I will let them do it. Now, if I get, I couldn't turn in the homework last night, can I do it later? It's like I need an email before the deadline because they realize that they're not going to make the deadline, usually before the deadline. So I just need an email. And I will always say yes, unless it's just something like I forgot. Okay. Be present, come to class, and be prepared to do work. Check your grades once a week. So I've actually embedded this into class. So every Monday they are going to check their grades. I make them write down if they have any missing assignments because I don't like when students don't think they have to check their grades and they think everything is fine and they realize, they forgot to make up an ESA and they're not passing the class because of that. I do try and stay on it, but I have thousands of grades in the grade books and 100 students. So we have to work together to monitor these things. Read and follow directions. So I do my best to communicate directions. However, after I release students, reading the directions just simply provides so much clarification. I can't, even if I read the directions to you once, going through them a second time will always help you. So how parents can help. So monitor grades on Schoology regularly. Check their grades weekly if you can. Email me when you have questions or concerns. I can't tell you how many students I've had who had something going on that I was unaware of and they didn't want to ask for help, but it was their parents who stepped up and said, hey, my child is struggling with this concept. How can you help them? How can I help them at home? And we can set a plan up and help your child succeed. Okay, help them study before quizzes, help them organize their notes for the test, quiz them from their doodle sheets, their notes, and put your student in charge of their own success. So this isn't middle school anymore. We are slowly trying to put them in charge of their academics. Okay, grades mean something now. If they don't pass, unfortunately, there are consequences. So we're trying to slowly put that in their hands. Now, I do whatever I can to help my students pass, but at the end of the day, I can only do so much to help them do the work, and they can only do so much to get the work done. So if they put themselves in a situation where they decide not to do any work, even after I've talked to them 3 or 4 times throughout the semester, and then it's the week of finals, at that point, there's nothing either of us can really do. So just be on the lookout because I will do my best and I hope your child will do their best to help them so we can together help them succeed. Here's the link for the syllabus. This is a picture of an old one. The link to the syllabus is on the slideshow. But please review the syllabus if you have questions or if you need help. Go ahead and email me. I will answer whatever questions you got. Okay, so that's all I got for you today, guys. It was so nice talking to you. I hope you guys found this useful. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me at denglish@rocklandusd.com. Thanks, guys. Have a nice day.